Hi guys, I'm Martikor, and a while ago I made a video where I stated that The Sims 2 genetics are broken. I mentioned the Firstborn syndrome, but mostly I showed that it goes beyond that. A lot of you guys either couldn't understand what I was babbling about or didn't even know about the existence of the Firstborn syndrome in the first place, so let me explain all of that as clearly as I possibly can. And it will be a lot of explaining. I think the easiest way is to make a story out of it. Let's say you have a marriage of Sims named Bob and Gloria. You're already in the game and they make a baby boy that you name John. After John is born, you close the game. The next day you launch the game back again and decide to make them another baby. Bob and Gloria do their business and a baby is born, of course. This baby will be an exact copy of John, even if it's a girl. It will look exactly the same and have an identical personality. And the same thing will happen over and over again if you just close the game, open it again, and have another baby. You can end up with 5 children that are complete clones. Let's say you didn't close the game after having John and had another baby right away. This time, the baby is different. This one and every next one born in the same gaming session will be different children. But then you close the game again and have, let's say, the third child. This child will again be a clone of John. This is what we call the Firstborn syndrome. But it turns out that there's more to it. So let's say that after John you want to have 2 girls. You open the game again and Bob and Gloria try for the second baby. As you're a simmer of culture, you know that if you save before the labor and repeat the labor, there is a 50% chance of getting another gender of the baby, so you just do that. But you keep getting boys 6 times in a row. The 7th time you finally get a girl and you name her Anna. You're probably tired of all that reloading, so you just close the game and come back the next day to make another girl. You're extremely unlucky that day, because again somehow you got 6 boys in a row, and again the 7th baby is a girl, so you keep her and name her Diana. So, yeah, you guessed it. Anna and Diana are now clones, even though they are both not firstborns. It doesn't matter if it's the first baby, the second baby, or the 35th baby. Every child of one pair of parents that is a certain number of the order will be the same. The Firstborn syndrome is a lot easier to notice because it's the default approach to just accept whatever is born at the first try, right? But actually, the game doesn't fully randomize the genetics. It creates a whole sequence of children made from that particular pairing, and that sequence is exactly the same every time you launch the game. So even if you reload the household at labor 7 times, but twice the same way, you will still get clone kids. The best way to avoid this is to go into CAS before labor and just click the randomize button a lot of times so that it's unlikely for you to get the same number another time. You can also create 2 parents and play with genetics a few times. It's called rolling the pacifier, but just randomizing a sim will work, as the sequence applies to anything that generates in the game randomly, even an NPC or a stray dog, anything. Also, if you have the firstborn in one family and then go to another one and make them a baby, the baby in that other family won't be the first one of the sequence anymore, so it won't count as the firstborn syndrome. Another way of not having clone babies is just simply paying attention to their looks and reloading the family if the baby looks the same as the previous one. Of course, you can only see that in the colors, as all babies look the same, unless they have alien ancestors, but this is already a lot. And again, a different gender doesn't mean that this is not a clone baby. The gender is randomized differently. There's a 50-50 chance at each labor that you will get a boy or a girl. A lot of people like to use the Batbox mod for rolling the randomizer without leaving the family. Personally, I don't do that because I don't feel the need, but it's a way. I used to think that the Firstborn syndrome is poorly randomized. So, you know, in our story, John would look either the same as Bob or the same as Gloria. But this is not true. Every single mix can be different. I've had firstborns that were crazy combinations of both parents, with even some genes taken from the grandparents. I mean, this is normal, but I used to think that with the firstborn that's not possible. It is. If you feel like you've never experienced this, I'd like to say again that you won't if you play long sessions and have multiple kids at one sitting, even in more than one family. The sequence repeats at every new launch of the game. Also, if you created a family during gameplay, or even if a random new townie was spawned somewhere that you can't even know of, it already affected the baby sequence. And finally, you may not notice the similarities, especially if the kids are of different genders. One face can look a lot different on a man and a woman. Take template 3 for example. So don't try to convince me that my game is broken or whatever. It's not a matter of mods, custom content, expansion packs or patches. It's in the game code. This is how it has always worked. I also hadn't noticed that for years. And when someone finally told me about it, I realized that I had sets of 3 children that were total copies of one another. I even had one of my viewers recreate an exact same child of pre-made Sims that I had in my game. Insane. If you're not sure either your Sims are clones or not, the easiest way is checking their personalities. If the points are the same, they're clones, as it's unlikely for 2 siblings to have exactly the same personality points. Why does this happen? Well, computers are pretty bad at randomizing stuff in general. It's a lot easier to create a few patterns and repeat them, making an illusion of randomness. You might have experienced something similar in other older games and software, like the old MP3 players. Why do you think this one song was so often played after that other song in random mode? It's the same thing. Okay, so I hope this is all clear and you know how it works now. If you somehow still don't believe me, test it in your own game and pay attention to all those things that I talked about. If you're interested in any trivia about genetics in The Sims 2, stay tuned. A video about that is coming very soon. And as always, thank you very much for watching, subscribe if you like the video, and see you in the next one. Bye!